there, and welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So let me ask you something. Ever face a big failure, like a really massive flop?
Uh-huh. We all have, I think.
Right. But what if? What if that failure was actually setting you up for something way better?
Interesting idea.
Think about Steve Jobs, Apple. Huge icon, but get this, he was actually fired from Apple.
Yeah, the company he started, it sounds unbelievable.
Exactly. But here's the kicker, that huge failure, it actually, fueled his greatest successes later on.
It really did. It's an amazing story of bouncing back.
So today, that's what we're diving into, Steve Jobs and failure. Not as an ending, but, as a beginning. A launchpad.
Yeah, we've looked through a bunch of stuff, articles and interviews to pull out the key bits,
Yeah.
the lessons about learning and growing from setbacks.
We'll cover his early days, the shock of being fired, what he did next and Pixar, anyone.
And his big comeback to Apple.
And hopefully pull out some insights, maybe some aha moments for you listening. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay, so first, Apple. Started famously in a garage. Jobs and Steve Wozniak.
Classic Silicon Valley story, isn't it?
Totally. And the Apple I, then the Apple II, they were huge hits. Suddenly, this young guy, Jobs, he's like 25, and he's already a millionaire. Crazy success right out of the gate.
Absolutely phenomenal. He had this incredible passion, vision, attention to detail, really visionary ideas.
But there was maybe a little friction brewing even back then.
Well, yeah, the sources hint at it. That same intensity, that relentless drive, it wasn't always easy for people around him.
Okay, I can imagine. Not everyone loves that kind of pressure cooker environment.
Exactly. So even with all the success, there were underlying tensions building up.
Right. Okay, so fast forward. It's 1985, and the big one happens.
The firing.
Yes. Steve Jobs gets fired from Apple, his own company.
It's still kind of shocking to think about. The founder, the visionary, ousted.
Can you imagine how that felt? He actually called it awful tasting medicine.
Yeah, he acknowledged maybe the company needed it, but for him personally,
he said he felt devastated, lost, humiliated, heartbroken, just awful.
It really highlights that nobody's immune to major setbacks. Even the biggest names can hit rock bottom.
So devastating. You have to wonder, what do you do after something like that?
Well, that's the incredible part. He didn't just crumble. He sort of reinvented himself.
Okay, tell us about that. What came next?
Two big things, really. First, he founded a new computer company called NextT.
NextT, right. Aimed at education, business, high-end stuff.
Yeah, very advanced for its time. But maybe even more famously, he bought a small animation studio.
Ah, okay, I know where this is going. Pixar. Toy Story, Finding Nemo, all those amazing movies.
Exactly. He saw the potential in combining technology and storytelling in a new way.
Yeah.
And, well, Pixar changed animation forever.
It's amazing. So he's building NextT, building Pixar. He's definitely not giving up.
Not at all. It shows incredible resilience, doesn't it? To take that rejection and channel it into creating not one, but two innovative companies.
Definitely. Okay, so NextT, Pixar. But the Apple story isn't over, is it?
Not by a long shot. Here comes the twist.
The big twist.
In 1997, Apple was struggling. And in a really ironic turn of events, they bought NextT. So Steve Jobs came back to Apple, the company that fired him.
Wow. That's like a Hollywood movie ending or beginning.
That's right. And the sources say he came back different, wiser, more focused, maybe more empathetic even.
And then came the products that changed everything.
Oh, yeah. The iMac, the iPod, iTunes, the iPhone, the iPad.
Just listing them. It's incredible. They didn't just sell products. They changed how we live, right?
Absolutely. Apple became one of the most valuable companies in the world. And the key thing was Jobs wasn't just selling tech specs.
What was he selling then?
Dreams, identity, emotion, all through amazing design and storytelling. It was about the experience, the feeling.
So the core theme here, it feels like, is resilience, reinvention.
Exactly. Failure wasn't the end for him. It was a chance to shed maybe some ego, get back to basics, rediscover his passion.
Yeah. And that connects to everyone listening, right? Whether you're learning English, starting something new, chasing a dream.
The path is rarely straight. You hit bumps, you have setbacks.
Let's talk about that word, setback. It's a good one.
Yeah, a setback is just an obstacle or a delay. Something that slows you down but doesn't have to stop you.
Like getting fired was a huge setback for Jobs, but it wasn't the end.
Precisely. Which leads to another key idea. Fall forward.
Fall forward. What's that mean?
It means not being afraid to fail. seeing mistakes not as dead ends, but as lessons. Each stumble teaches you something, redirects you.
So failure shapes you. It doesn't have to define you.
That's it. Jobs let it shape him. And another big idea from him is connecting the dots.
Ah, the calligraphy story.
You know it. He took a calligraphy class in college, seemed totally random, useless even. But years later, that knowledge inspired the beautiful fonts on the first Macintosh computers.
Wow. So you can't always see how things will connect looking forward.
Exactly. As Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Trust that the random experiences might be valuable later.
Makes you think, doesn't it? All the little things you learn along the way.
Definitely. Now, this whole thing, getting fired, it brings up a debate, right? Is it the worst thing ever, or maybe the best?
Yeah, that's interesting. Some people, inspired by Jobs maybe, say losing it all forces you to find what really matters, clears the slate.
Right. A necessary reset, perhaps.
But the other side is failure can be crushing. It can destroy people. Not everyone bounces back like Steve Jobs.
That's a really important point. It's not simple. It depends so much on the person, the circumstances, the support they have.
So it's less about the failure itself and more about how you respond to it.
I think that's the key takeaway from his story. He took rejection and turned it into a revolution. Twice. It shows the potential that exists even in really tough times.
Okay, another vocabulary word that seems important here is reinvent.
Yes. To reinvent means to change something so much it seems totally new.
Like Jobs had to reinvent himself after Apple.
Exactly. And then he helped reinvent Apple when he returned. He didn't just tweak things, he fundamentally changed them.
Now there's another layer to his story, a really profound one. His health.
Yeah. In 2003, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. A huge battle he fought while still leading Apple.
And facing his own mortality gave him this incredible perspective, didn't it?
It really did. He gave that famous Stanford commencement speech.
Oh yeah, the stay hungry, stay foolish speech.
That's the one.
Wow.
And he said something powerful. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose.
Wow, that just cuts right through all the fear, doesn't it? Don't be afraid to take risks because ultimately...
What do you really have to lose? It encourages you to live authentically, pursue your passions without fear.
So his legacy, it's way more than just iPhones and Macs.
Oh, absolutely. He was a dreamer, a rebel, a creator, a master storyteller.
And maybe the biggest message is, failure doesn't define you. Passion drives innovation.
Perfectly put. It's about resilience, about seeing setbacks not as endings, but as opportunities.
So for you listening, maybe take a second. Think about a failure you've had. What did it actually teach you? Did it maybe open a door you didn't expect?
Or, here's another thought. What would you try? What big thing would you go for if you weren't scared of failing?
You might be closer than you think to your own comeback story.
Remember what Jobs said. Sometimes life hits you in the head with a prick. Don't lose faith.
Great final thought. Thanks so much for joining us for this dip dive.
Always a pleasure.
Catch you next time.